Tim and Britt from Catbite, welcome.
Hello. Hey, thank you.
Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, first and foremost, shout out to Finn McKinty from the Punk Rock MBA. I don't know if you guys know who Finn is.
I know that guy.
He hates ska music. All right,
I noticed. Yeah.
I love Papa Finn, but we break right there. Okay, like he goes into Whitechapel, and I go down the ska road. But he played a video talking about ska, and he played your guys' call your bluff. He called the song. And that was the first time I discovered you guys. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Finn, my boy, you've lost your mind. Like this is great. And this is where, I believe 2023 ska music is really headed to what you guys are doing, even though you released it a couple of years prior. So real quick, for those who don't know, tell us who Catbite is.
Hell yeah. You want me to start? You can take it. All right. Okay. So Catbite, we are a ska band. We call ourselves a ska band. We play all types of different music. I don't know. We're a very eclectic group of people. There's 4 of us in the band. So that's like your first weird thing because we're a ska band. There's only 4 of us. We play with 5 of us total. 1 keyboard player, guitar, drums, no horns. And yeah, it's just like we play a little bit of every type of, traditional ska, third wave, two-tone, and just kind of make it, it's just like fun dancing pop punk, not pop and punk, not really pop punk music with ska vibes, and that's kind of our thing. Yeah, we've been a band for about 4.5 years at this point, and we've kind of grown. The band is formed of people who've been playing in the ska scene for me, our drummer, and our bass player have been playing in ska bands for 10-15 years, so it's like just the aftermath of all that and just kind of doing this thing.
Now, Britt, I read that you are a jazz singer.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you go to your parents and say, all the money and time that we spent getting me to be a jazz singer, screw it, we're going in Catbite and I'm going to be doing ska music from here on out?
Well, one, because all the money that went into my school came from myself, so they don't really get a say.
Well, there you go. All right, good for you.
$100,000 in debt.
Woo!
Yeah, it's fun.
And now you're interviewing me. See, kids, your dreams can come true if you just go massively in debt. No.
Yeah.
So how'd you meet up with the guys to start Catbite?
Well, Tim and I, so I met Tim when I first moved to Philly, in 2014, I guess. And obviously we started dating and whatever. But I was going to school for jazz. And when I was graduating, I really wanted to, I wanted to continue doing jazz, but like my goal and dream my entire life was to be like a front person for a band. And Tim was like getting out of his like ska band that he was in. Yeah, it was like you were in that band for like 10 years.
My high school ska band that just wouldn't stop.
And we knew we wanted to start like making music together. And so it just kind of was like the perfect timing for both of us to start on something new together. And so we started doing like covers. We put them up on Facebook. We started with a Little Richard cover, and we did ska because we both really love ska.
Yeah, that's like all I really knew. Like I learned guitar to play in my high school ska band, and then that that was like 2009 when like no one gave a fuck about ska at all. And that's just like what I knew. And like when we started doing stuff, it just was natural.
Yeah, it came very natural, felt really good, was so fun. And people, like, we posted on Facebook and people seemed to like it. And we were like, okay, let's
start a real band. Yeah. And then we
the one thing about you guys, when people think of ska, they always think of the horns. You can go into the Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, all of that. But for you guys, it's almost more of a throwback to like Op Ivy. And the Selectors and stuff like that. And I think that that's really cool because it's different from what you would think of the guys wearing their dad's suits, and getting up there and playing horns and everything. And that's when I discovered you with Finn, and then I started listening to the catalog on Spotify and everything. And it was Catbite. I listened to the self-titled album. I was like, oh, okay, right on. And then I'm going on to the next thing. And then I heard Catfight. And I was like, wait a second. I think I just heard these songs earlier in the day because I usually have music playing all the time. And I was like, wait, am I going insane? Wait, how do I know these songs already?
Yeah.
I just got to give you guys a shout out. What a cool idea to just kind of like,
thank you,
take it in a different road from the 2019 that Catbite came out?
Yeah.
2018.
No, 2018 is when we
was
formed.
it 2018?
2019 when
Catbite. Yeah, our first record came out in 2019. Yes. Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. Who came up with that? Like, how did you guys? We're sitting in Philadelphia. Was it like during a snowstorm up in the East Coast? And you're like, here's a crazy idea, guys.
So it started. So I was the one that came up with the idea of doing a hardcore album of our first record. Kind of. So it started by like our friends Omnigon, another band on our label, they covered one of our songs from our first record and they basically turned it into a hardcore song. And we're like, this is awesome. And then in the middle of COVID lockdown, we did a live stream concert for Fest, which is a big festival down in Gainesville. And they were just like accepting like bands covering, doing covers and like submitting them, and do a live stream concert. And so we're like, oh shit, what if we cover Omnigon's cover of our cover? So we covered their hardcore version of our song. And it was so much fun. And it was at the same time that we were writing our second record. So we did it. And then as soon as we finished writing and recording our second record, Nice One, we had nothing to do. We had no shows. We still couldn't play shows because of the pandemic and stuff. And we're like, hey, let's just do that, but the entire record. And in addition to that, we also did Cat Light, which is alternative country version of our whole first record too.
Okay.
So there's 3 versions of our self-titled record. There's Catbite, which is our record, then Cat Light, alternative country, yeehaw, and then Catfight, which is just like all different types of punk rock, hardcore, just yeah.
It sounds like an idea that would be birthed from COVID in lockdown.
Yeah.
So who came up with the country version? Who came up with that one?
So all the arrangements for that one are our bass player, Ben.
Yeah.
He's amazing at songwriting, and arranging. And originally we thought it would just be kind of more like acoustic-y, just like acoustic guitar. And then he like brought the songs to us and he had like string arrangements and we were like, okay, this is like way more than we were thinking, but like I think it turned out great.
Yeah. Like there's like, lap steel, pedal steel, harmonica. It's so on them. And it's cool. And like we did it and like got to take advantage of Bandcamp Friday. Mm-hmm. And like both of them, we just like released the country one we did first. We did it on April Fool's. On April Fool's Day, we're like and we're going to release a country record. And everyone's like, wait, what? Is this a joke or whatever? Because then I immediately liked it. And then the next day was Bandcamp Friday and we just dropped the whole record. And then used all the money for a charity, raised like a couple $1,000. And then a month later, we did the exact same thing with Catfight, the hardcore thing, and was able to raise like another $2,000-$3,000 for like a charity.
That's great.
And, it was just like a good way to pass the time. And because like I don't know, all 4 of us like bandmates were just best friends and just like hang out and shit, and we couldn't do anything because we just wrote and recorded a new record, and we're like, we can't play these songs, we don't want to write more music, and
that wasn't dropping until August that year. So like we had many months in between just like doing nothing.
So it was just like a fun thing and kind of kept our brains busy.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID happened, I said this on the grade 2 interview, like when it first happened, we all go into lockdown. I'm like, this is great. I have like a week off. Nobody's expecting anything. And then by like week 6, week 7, it's like, you can only paint so many walls, and you can only walk around your living room, and Netflix has told you've watched everything. How was that for you guys as a band? Because your album had just came out in 2019. And were you guys getting ready to tour? Was stuff starting to happen? And then, we shut down. Like, how was that for you guys?
We were getting ready to like really tour that year.
That was gonna be like the beginning of us actually touring.
The weekend, like March 16th,
the COVID happened.
Yeah, when like everything was like officially shut down. We were supposed to be in Canada, for
like our first
a weekend in Canada.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do another weekend. It was like because we'd never really toured much because we'd only been like a year old of a band, and then it was like 2020 is our year. And we had all this shit booked, and then
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Japan that year too.
Oh wow!
But that all kind of then everything got shut down. But then we just like because of that we're like, okay, shit, let's write a new record, and that's when we literally wrote all of Nice One, our second record. Wrote, arranged, recorded it in like 6 months. Like we went it was done tracking by the end of 2020. We had none of that written. Like we were just like, ah, shit, and we just started like doing demos and stuff remotely. I mean, it definitely helps that like me and Britt are married and live together, so like we just took advantage of that. Like we started just making, because like when we write songs, Britt and I write the skeletons of the song, and then we send it to Ben and Chris, our drummer and bass player, and then we all just get together and make them Catbite songs. And we just kind of did that mostly remotely until we were able to kind of like then it's like the four of us were our bubble, and it was just like that's like all we would just see each other, and just like every week just like get together and like get a song together, and then went in the studio and boom.
Is everybody I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, Britt.
I was just gonna say we had our tickets purchased to go to California.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because so we had the Japan tour,
right?
And we already bought our we already bought our tickets to go to LA,
right?
Because we're gonna go Philly to LA and then to Japan,
right.
And so we're like, well, we already have these tickets to LA, and there's this producer that we want to work with in LA. Let's just fucking write a record, go to LA, lock ourselves in an Airbnb and the studio.
The smallest Airbnb alive.
Yeah.
The pictures were wrong.
Yeah. They're like, this place is huge. Because like, we were literally like, we were not taking any risks. We're like, flying there was terrifying because it was like November 2020.
Yeah.
And we get there and our Airbnb is like it was like a living room and a kitchen.
Yeah, it was a studio, but they called it a 1-bedroom, and just like the way that the pictures were taken really looked like there was an extra bedroom, but it wasn't.
No, it was just like they rearranged the furniture to take another picture. Yeah. So yeah, like we spent.
But, I mean, yeah.
It was. I mean, yeah, it worked great. Like we just basically locked ourselves in the studio for 10 days and came home.
It sucked. I mean, the year was like awful in general, but there were some good things that happened out of it.
We were not at all like planning on writing a record that year at all. We were ready to tour, and because of that we got our very cool record that we like a lot. Nice one.
It's a great album, and I was going to ask you guys because it seems like we're releasing an album every year. So should 2023 we see a new Catbite album?
We'll not see a new full length this year.
Okay.
We have a bunch of cool things that we're gonna be like, we're just constantly doing shit. But we just started like the beginning of process of writing the next record.
Now,
so,
now you guys are heading out on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys did in, what was it? December, you guys played with the Bouncing Souls.
Yeah.
Now tell us how the Bouncing Souls came about, and then give us the, as long as you want, elevator pitch for your upcoming tour.
What was the first question? Sorry.
About the Bouncing Souls. I thought I stumped you guys. I was, whoa, okay.
Oh, yeah, you go.
All right. I mean, it was just great. Bouncing Souls were like probably one, if not, they were like number 3 punk band I got into ever. Like when I was a kid, it was like Anti-Flag, Rancid, and the Bouncing Souls. And like, the Souls were probably the second or third show I ever went to. So like, long time fan. And we just got hit up out of the blue by our agent, like, hey, do you because like we were busy all year, and then we had a hard stop of December 13th because I was gonna be getting some surgery, and we're like, all right, we're gonna tour up until then. And it was literally like the weekend before my surgery, and our agent's like, Tim, are you still gonna get your when's your surgery? And it's like, I got 4 shows with the Balancing Souls. I'm like, yes, like I'll fucking postpone my shit. Like, but it worked out perfectly, and like,
yeah, those shows were so fun.
And-
two sold out back-to-back shows in Jersey.
and Brooklyn and
that was amazing. Brooklyn
and Connecticut.
Yeah.
There's some great guys too. They're really cool dudes.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Maybe we'll be doing more shows with them.
That'd be awesome. And now we have an upcoming tour.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we just announced it this week. It's
Time Records tour.
Yeah. So our
it's a Bad Time Records tour, 3-way headliner tour with Catbite, Kill Lincoln, We Are the Union. It's going to be 2 separate legs, and we're going to be hitting the West Coast and Southwest.
Yeah, on the first leg in March.
Leg, and then we'll be doing South.
Just the whole East and Midwest.
And Midwest in the second leg?
Yeah.
And the East Coast. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. It'll be like rotating headline show.
Mm-hmm.
So... yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed you're not coming to Nashville, so what's up with that? I want to show you Nashville hot chicken. Come on, guys.
We do have. Well, stay tuned for a Nashville date.
All right,
of a different tour. You'll be stoked on it. Trust me.
Awesome. Well, when you guys are on there, you got to remember me. I Nashville hot chicken. You got to go with the local, right?
Oh, yeah. I love hot chicken. No, I love Nashville so much. I haven't been there in so long.
It's changed a lot. Now you guys are with Bad Time Records. How did that come about? And Mike, I want a shirt. Will you tell Mike to send me a shirt? I actually want to interview him because I love the concept of what he's doing with the label. But how did you guys get involved with it? And how do we get me a shirt?
All right. So I'm sure you ask him and he'll do it. He's the greatest guy.
I just gotta say, hey, let me get a shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mike owns Bad Time Record, but he's also the lead singer and guitar player of Kill Lincoln, which is the one of the bands that we're touring with on this Bad Time tour. So yeah, it's like Kill Lincoln, We Are the Union, and Catbite are like the 3 OG bands on Bad Time Records. Mm-hmm. But he started the label like the exact same time that we started Catbite, and I know him from many years of my old band playing with his band Kill Lincoln, because he's originally from Washington D.C. He lives out in Alameda, California now. Okay, but the band is still based in D.C. and it's still they still tour all the time. He just flies out. But yeah, it really, like, we just started the band and we started writing some shit, and we were kind of talking about like what the future of the band was like. Like we never expected it to get like where we're at now. It was just like because also fucking ska, like 2018, like ska band. We were just doing it because it was fun. And we're like talking about maybe we should do an EP or something. And then like that same day that we were talking about it, Mike hit me up on Facebook Messenger and was like, this huge paragraph like, "Hey man, I'm starting this record label. It's like basically after the Asian Man Records model, like pure DIY bands first, just putting like building a community, and do you want to be a part of it?" And we're like, of course.
And that's like, a contract.
Yeah, and that's literally our contract.
That's awesome.
We had a meeting with our lawyer a couple of days ago. He's like, "So do you have like a contract?" I'm like, "I got a Facebook Messenger."
Right.
Like but like that's why this label it rules so much. It doesn't like feel like a business agreement or anything. It's literally just it's built this huge ska community of all these bands like all across the nation and I guess internationally. Yeah, there's there's bands from Japan and the UK, Brazil on the label, and it's just like every year it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's like you just see all these bands hyping each other up. It's like unlike any other like label that I've really I don't know, it reminds me exactly of like that Asian Man Records, like just community based label.
And Mike, like that Mike really wants just whatever is best for the bands. Like he has told us, if I don't know, ever Catbite gets an offer from like a bigger label or something like that, and it's something that we really wanted to do, like he would never stop us or
That's great.
try to convince us. Like, he wants every band to do what's best for their band.
Yeah.
And like and it really feels like that. Like, he's such a good dude.
So
yeah, and that's
So you guys have the freedom to record what you want, and you're not. Oh, that's great. Yeah, because so many times, especially with my history, you get these songs and they're great, and by the time you get marketing involved and this A&R guy,
completely changed.
Yeah, it's completely changed. Now we got to hire a different producer, and then all of a sudden we're just pumping crap out, and the band's like, I mean, we'll take the bag of money and run, but other than that, like, it's not really who we are.
Yeah,
so that's pretty awesome. And I saw on Bad Times Instagram a couple of days ago that he said something to the effect of, I made enough money to keep this going for another year. And I love that stuff. And so have you guys seen that you guys are getting more fans, more interaction with people as this has been going on for you? Because like we were talking before the interview started, I truly think ska is this, I mean, this might be the year that we come back. But I mean, you talked about being in bands in the 2010s and all that. That's a rough time to be doing ska music, like
it was rough.
When it was all the mall emo and everything. And so how has it been just as a band, like, getting new fans and, interview requests, and you're doing tours? Like, how has that adjustment been for you guys?
It's weird. It's wild.
I mean, it's amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
We definitely have gotten a lot more attention. Just as Bad Time grows, like, all the bands get new fans, and it's cool because of the like community vibes of Bad Time Records. Like, all the bands are hyping each other up, so like we're getting fans from different cities that we've not even been to yet, and it's super cool.
Yeah, and also it's just like this last year alone, like that last year was like pretty much the first year when we were really actually hitting the road and touring a lot, and we just kept getting awesome support tour offers. And like, so like we toured like with bands like Screaming Females, which is weird as shit. Like, I love that. I love the shit out of it. It's like they brought us a ska band on tour,
right? And
then like, old 90s ska bands like Mustard Plug, and then Streetlight Manifesto, and Jeff Rosenstock from Bomb the Music Industry, and then the Balancing Souls, Anti-Flag. And like, we toured with all of those bands last year, and it's like, holy shit, like, people are really paying attention. And it's amazing. And like, also that we're able to play these shows with, not ska shows, I mean, and be selling a lot of merch, and having a line of people wanting to talk to us and at the merch table every night. And like people telling us like, you guys are my first ska band I've ever seen. And then of course, like, we actually started headlining shows last year, like especially in the fall. And like, we had our second ever Philadelphia hometown headline show, and there was fucking 400 people there.
Wow.
At the First Unitarian Church, which is like legendary spot. That's like where I grew up seeing like these amazing punk shows, and we were able to headline it and pack it out.
Yeah.
It's so wild. Especially like me, like doing this ska shit for like since I picked up a guitar, and like these past couple of years, it's like like, I love it. It's like, this is all we want to do. And like, we're all in this weird spot where we're getting to the point where we're like quitting our jobs, or hoping to quit our jobs,
right?
And like, or that risky spot we're like hanging on to our jobs, but it's like it looks like it's going in the right direction, and like, maybe
we hope so.
Yeah.
So when you guys, so you go to, okay, so I have a merchandise question, since you mentioned merchandise. So if you guys order from your website, are you guys the ones who ship it all? And you guys is that a band thing, or do you guys outsource that to somebody?
Yeah, we used to. And now, so our friend, Brent, he basically ships merch out for all the Bad Time bands.
Okay.
He's our friend. He lives out in, LA, Orange County. We were doing it ourselves, and then it kind of just became overwhelming with how much we're touring.
Right.
So, and like,
once in a while, like, depending on the situation, we might sell out of like our house or something, but for the most part, Brent will be Brett is the merch person.
Yeah.
All right, because I asked that question because Brett, you need to get more zippered hoodies in because I was going to buy one the other day, and I was like, because I love the logo on the sleeve, and I was like, they're freaking sold out. Like, come on, Brett. Come on.
Well, yeah, we had those because those were from last year.
Yeah.
And then it was so dumb. We ordered a bunch of them, and then they got delayed. We were supposed to have them in time for we were gonna do three shows with Streetlight Manifesto in December. We're like, oh fuck yeah! They arrived the day after all three of them,
of course.
And then we had a bunch of other shows, and that's when Omicron variant came and canceled all of our shows until springtime, and they were stuck with all these hoodies that we finally could start selling, and it was like end of March, and we're like, fuck. And they just take up so much room, and then we just put them online, and then they just sold out instantly. But we didn't want to order more because it was summertime. We'll get more.
Well, okay, because it's an expensive, but you say how they came right after the shows were over. Like, that's just kind of how life is for a band, oh, we're playing the arena and we don't get any merch, and it comes the day after all of our merch for the arena show. Now, how long have you guys been married?
Since 2018.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, we got married. Yeah, our fourth show as a band was the day before our wedding. Mm-hmm. We had the pie tasters play our wedding, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
They're great friends of ours, and we asked them to play our wedding reception. And in order they were like, "How about this? We're gonna book a Philly show the night before your wedding to offset the cost. So you guys only owe us $1,000. That's it, and we'll play our wedding. But you guys, Catbite has to open the show." The day before
at the wedding, at your wedding.
Well, so we played the day.
We played the night before our wedding, and then we ended up actually playing our wedding as well.
Yeah, we were
just a few songs, but we were wasted.
Yeah, because the pie tasters were like, "All right, you guys go. We need a drinking break." And we're like,
so here we go.
Whose idea was it out of the two of you to get pie tasters to play the reception? Because I'm like, that's a pretty cool reception. I mean, that's better than a DJ playing, Pitbull or something.
Well, we both love the pie tasters.
Yeah, they were there when we got engaged. We got engaged at a ska festival.
Yeah,
imagine that. My old band was playing, and we brought her up on stage to sing a song. And I was like, "Yeah, why don't you just come on stage and just sing a song?" And then I was like, "Boom," and proposed. And I
think it was pie tasters or one other band, the Suffers. I don't know if you've heard of them. Yeah. They're from Houston, but they're the two bands that we were like, who will keep the party going? What we knew we wanted a live band, and so those two were our top, and we ended up going with pie tasters. And
they're from DC, which is not far away.
Yeah.
And I've known them and
we love them. Yeah.
So my old band, we've probably played between my old band and Catbite, probably played with them 30 times.
Oh wow. Okay.
They're just their family.
Right.
So yeah.
So you proposed on stage. I think we buried the lead on this one. So you proposed on stage.
Yeah. While my other band was playing Supernova Ska Festival, which is this huge festival in Virginia, and my old band was playing, and right before that we were her band for
my senior recital,
and we did a ROCKSTEADY ska version of Valerie, made popular by Amy Winehouse. Mm-hmm. So we're
and they asked me, they were like, "Yeah, you want to come sing this? We'll play it at Supernova." I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, that's sick." So Tim calls me up, and I'm so excited, nervous to sing the song, and then he starts doing stage banter, and in that band it was not a thing that he ever did. So I was like, what the heck is going on? What are you talking to me about? And then he asked me right before I sang too, so I was crying.
Oh,
I should have done it after. I know, right? I was nervous.
So what you're saying is there's two takeaways from that story. One, Tim is a romantic. We don't let the tattoos in the hair fool you. He's a romantic. And two,
nice guy.
There might be a video of you ugly crying
while singing Valerie.
While singing, yes.
She nailed it though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Professional.
Well, I would pick it. I I thought I was like off key at first, but I also was just crying. So
I thought it sounded great. People loved it. There's definitely video somewhere. I don't know where it is. I know it because I Facebook lived it. The whole thing.
My best friend was there, and Tim did not tell her because he was convinced that she would tell me and ruin it. So
good for you, Tim. Good for you. You know,
I told like my bandmates, and that was it.
It's my best friend that I've known since we were in first grade. So she is doing the live stream, and you just hear her scream because she had no idea. It was funny.
Now, how is it being married in a band, touring with a couple of other people?
Yeah.
For those who are in bands with their spouse, significant other, whatever, what words of advice do you have for them?
Patience.
Yeah, just be patient. It's like, especially because like I'm also the manager of the band, so it's like I have to be her boss and my bandmate's boss while also being a spouse.
Right.
So it's like that's definitely the hardest part. If we were just like in the band, just like chilling, someone telling us to do what to do would be way easier. But I don't know, like
communication, I would say, like you just need to be able to talk to each other, especially when like, you know, it's like the hard conversations, or like if you're annoyed, like bring it up in a nice way, in a like cool-headed level way, if you can, as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's gonna end badly.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, this is like being in a band and performing is like literally all both of us live for. So it's like, you know, we're both like this marriage is like basically based on this band. Like,
right.
I mean, not really, but like, I mean, like, that's a terrible way to put it. Like this bit, like that's
it's something that we're very much on the same page about.
Yeah.
So like we both understand exactly like I understand the frustrations that he has, and he understands the frustrations that I have. So it's easier for us to like kind of sympathize with each other about certain things.
Yeah. And like,
but it's also because we communicate and talk. Like, you know, if I'm upset about something, I definitely will let him know.
Yeah. But also like we've been married the entire time we've been married. We've been in this band. So it's like, I mean, we started dating like 9 years ago.
2014.
9 years, yeah.
9?
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on, Britt. You should have that like tattooed like right here or something, you know, so you never
She's
forget.
not good at math. She's not the math one.
So
yeah.
Last couple of questions for you guys. You know, Terry Hall passed away a few weeks ago. What was the impact just of him as an artist, the band? Like, what did it have on you guys and Catbite?
It's fucking rough.
Yeah.
The Specials are one of my all-time favorite bands. They're like they're the band that really like made me really appreciate ska, because it was more than just the sound. Like, you know, the Specials are like, they're the band that like have that political driving force behind them and like give it more meaning than just being dancing fun music. That like, and especially just like, you know, knowing Terry Hall's like his mental illnesses and like, you know, his history of depression and stuff, which like Catbite, we get like political sometimes, but a lot of our music is focused around like mental illness and like, you know, being like okay with your feelings and like, you know, being vocal while also being dancing and shit. So it's like the Specials, it's like definitely one of our biggest, like between the four of us, like one of our biggest influences. So that shit sucked. It was just like, so, you know, so sudden too. Like we just saw them
a couple years ago.
I've seen them at least 3 or 4 times, I think, and we saw them at the TLA. Like it was like right after they released that newest record, the one with the disco songs, which I like. This Encore, yeah. And like, they're just like, they've just continued to be such a great band through lineup changes and through, you know, writing questionable songs and songs that are not as, you know, that original, but like still, I don't know, they show that you can just keep doing that shit and progressing as a band. And yeah, plus he just got such a great voice. It's like such a unique voice, and that's like some shit that I love. It's like I latch onto like that weird thing that just sticks out, and like Terry had that voice.
The voice, and also just like their sound. Like if you hear it come on the radio or Spotify or whatever, like it's like such a significant style and sound that they had that you're like, oh, this is a special.
Yeah.
And you look at the song and it's a special. So
yeah, I mean, Terry for me was almost like Tim Armstrong, where you go, oh no, that's Terry Hall. Like there's no denying it. Like you hear a Tim Armstrong song, regardless if it's a transplant or whatever, you go, oh, it's Tim Armstrong. It's just,
exactly. Yeah.
Terry had the exact same thing. And I actually saw him last January 2022 at a Muzak fundraiser where Jesse Michaels from Op Ivy and
you were there? No shit.
I was there for that, and he was there, and it was. I mean, that's royalty in this genre, and and then I got the text from a friend who's like, "Did you hear about Terry Hall?" And I'm like, "What? He put something out?" And then I was like, "No way, man!" Like it was kind of a dark day, before Christmas. But so my question for Britt, with you being the front woman, is, I mean, it kind of carries a little bit of weight these days, because you don't see, I mean, you got Amy Allen, but there's not a lot of women that you see in this genre. Usually women are, I have a 9-year-old daughter that I adopted from Taiwan, and she wants to get into drums, and everybody tells her, oh no, play the piano, play the violin. And she wants an Aquabats drum set for whatever. Maybe that's what she wants, but how do you, as a female, as a front person in a genre that is predominantly male, how do you, like, what do you recognize basically the role that you have as, being one of like a few women in this genre of music?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, obviously it's something that I notice like every day of my life. Pretty much everything in the world is heavily male dominated. So, it's something that means so much to me when like there's been so many shows where there's little girls that come up and they're just like, they look at me with like huge eyes, and this is like their first show, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, if I get to be like a representative to these little girls that like, maybe this is a dream of theirs, that they want to be a performer and sing on stage one day, like, and they see me and they see like the band and how, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good, and they can see that and like be like, maybe that's what I want to do one day. Like that's fucking amazing. Like it feels so good. And I mean, I'm trying to think of like when I was younger, like Paramore is like one of my favorite bands, and that's like Hayley Williams is like that was like the person for me that I would look up to and be like, man, I want to be like Hayley Williams so badly, because she was so cool and so fierce and so strong, and like really could work the crowd, and like that was, to me, that was like the top notch. So I don't know, it means a lot, and I wish there was more female representation, not just in ska, but in lots of
and everything, basically.
I mean,
some little girl even went as Brit for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Someone messaged me on Instagram and was like, I want to be you for Halloween. Like a group of my friends are gonna be like singers and artists, and I want to be you. And she was like, would that be okay? And I was like, yes, please send me pictures. I was like, crazy. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I mean, for me, when I became a dad to a daughter, and it was like, all of a sudden you start realizing like it's not a fair playing field for women, and I see it even at 9, where it's like, well, you're a woman, you need to do, or you're a girl, you need to do this. And it's like, we've listened to Catbite in the school drop-off line at 7:45 in the morning. And because I always try to play, I'm that guy at the PTA. They think that I have a heroin needle in my neck or something like that when I walk in. Because it's like, oh, my dad has dyed his hair blue because she wanted to. And they're like, really? Kind of one of those things. But to play this music for her, and her just to kind of, wow, that's a girl, she says, and then we're trying to find stuff on YouTube and everything. So thank you for the impact that you've made on my 9-year-old. And when you come to Nashville, I'll bring her along for dinner. So she likes the Nashville hot chicken as well. So
all right,
2 questions. And then we'll be done with you guys, and you can go on and keep crushing it online, because you guys are very active on Instagram, which I appreciate. And you're not one of the D-bag bands that, that put me on read. Okay. So I appreciate you always responding. But
of course.
what is, some bands will get back to me like 3 months later, like, oh, I'm sorry, we're busy. And I'm like, you're not that busy. But anyways, that's why I'm that's why I'm hitting you up. But anyways, what do you guys want? Just anybody who's discovering you right now, they're listening to this, or just the people who are fans who are going to come watch you guys. What do you want them to just know? This is why we do what we do. This is what our messages we want to get to you guys. What is that one thing that outside of the music or the genre that you guys just really want to just send a message to people and let them know that this is what we're about as a band and as people?
I mean, I think I would say that I just want people to know that they are always welcome at our shows. As long as they are not a racist, not a homophobe, not like,
just respect people,
respect one another,
how they want to be.
Always be welcome at our shows. And I want everyone to feel comfortable and know that, like, if anything weird happens at the show, you can always tell us, and we will do something about it. We will kick that person out, or whatever the situation is. Like, we always want our fans to feel like they're welcome.
Yeah. And like, we want our shows to just be really fun, like, and like have fun, dance, like shows should be, going to shows, it should be your escape from your issues. And that's like, growing up, and also like we do everything in our power for all of our shows to be all ages, because that's like where I went to escape my terrible, shitty, high school years. It's like, I grew up in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania. There was like four punk kids, and like we would escape the jocks and assholes by going to an Anti-Flag show.
Right.
And it's like, but then like there was so many shows we couldn't go to because they were not all ages. And so like, that's like our main thing, all ages, and the shows are fun. We play with bands that are respectful and are like, have the same message, and
it's a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space where you can have fun and just like be with people like yourself. So that's the thing.
Is it shocking in 2023 you have to say racist stay home? Is that kind of shocking for you? I mean, like, it's 2023.
I know. I feel like nothing really like shocks me anymore.
Right.
I'm like, ugh, just another day.
So luckily, like in what we played 69 shows, not intentional. Last year, how perfect. Out of all those shows, I think there was 2 incidents of like just someone being an asshole and like had to, and then they were fucking kicked out because people said something and we got rid of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not shocking that we have to say that, but like, we've had a really good experience so far, and I think it speaks a lot like to our fans rule. Our fans rule, and the bands that bring us on tour, their fans rule.
Look,
so that's cool.
That's the thing about the punk ska. Even you can get into the hardcore. They do a pretty good job of self-policing. The fans will get the crap out of here, man. Kind of one of those things. Okay, I lied. I have 2 more questions. This is the most important question I'll ask you. If I'm to ever get remarried, can Catbite play my reception?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll call
I would love to play a wedding. Yeah. It'd be fun as shit.
I'll call your agent if that ever happens. And then finally, last question, and then we'll get into, you guys can tell everybody how to get in contact with you. What is your definition of success? I ask that every interview. I ask every artist that question. What is your definition of success?
Well, I want it to be my full-time career, and I don't want to have another part-time job. I want to be able to live a life where I don't have to be like wildly, rich, but I want to be successful enough where I can live comfortably and continue to do that as my career.
Yeah.
and be able to still make the music that I want to make.
That's awesome.
That's I mean,
without limits.
That's exactly what I would say. Like my personal success story would be that, like, being able to do what we're doing right now, and quit my shitty day job, and keep like being able with also with the artistic freedom that we have. Just being able to do whatever the fuck we want, and eat. And be able to eat and pay our bills.
Be able to eat. I want to be able to buy a new pair of pants if I want a new pair of pants.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be the definition of success for me.
All right. So how can people get in contact with you? Where can they see tour dates, all of that?
Everything and anything is catbite.net. That's like all our tour dates, our merch and stuff. But we post all the time on social media, at Catbite Band, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Instagram, we're definitely the most active, but we do it on all of that.
Twitter too, pretty much.
Twitter, yeah. We're easy to get a hold of. We like talking to our fans and like friends. Like, it's I don't know, I think it's kind of silly. Like, obviously we get a little overwhelmed sometimes, but like, we wouldn't be here without people hitting us up and like what you were saying before. Like, I mean, we're busy, and obviously like doing interviews takes time out of our day, but like we love doing this shit. Like, we would not like
I'd much rather do this than go clock in at my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is like the work I would like to do.
Yeah. Right. So, listen to us, hit us up, tell us if you like our music, come to a show. We're always at the merch stand after our shows. Say hi to us.
So we do, I do this thing with my listeners and everything. We call it the song of the week. I put a song in my playlist, and, we got about 5,000 people that follow that playlist. So Call Your Bluff, we're going to put on there, when this releases. So get ready for a bunch of people who probably you will be their first time, experiencing ska music.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
And then they can start the journey of being picked on by people like Finn McKenty, and misunderstood by society. But guys, I'd love to bring you back in after the summer, see where we're at, where you guys are, what's new. And when you get those hoodies in, like get go jump one of your friends in Philadelphia who's got an extra large hoodie. I want one. But
I'll look around. If we find one, I'll let you know.
Please do. Please do. Well, guys, thank you for your time. Good luck on the upcoming tour, and we will see you in Nashville soon for some Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah.
And Mike, send me a shirt. I want a shirt, Mike. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.